Before you head out for the day, do you want to see what the weather's going to be like? You want to see if it's going to be hot, cold, rainy, sunny. You want to see what's going on so that you can be prepared. For money and retirement planning, I think it's kind of similar. You want to have an idea of what's going on, good or bad, so that you can make sure you're in the absolute best position. So many times people, when they take a look at their money and their finances, they only take a look when things aren't going well, when there are problems, when the economy's bad or they get laid off. That's when it prompts them to take a look at what's going on. But I think the best time to take a look at what's going on is when everything is wonderful, because we want to make sure that when the sun's shining and we can be benefiting from good things, we can be growing our money, we can have lower taxes. When things are going well, we want to make sure that we're taking advantage of every opportunity while they're here, because there's not always good times. There's going to be good times and bad times, but we want to make sure that in good times we're taking and benefiting from those as much as possible.
Absolutely. And you want to make sure that your returns are not only acceptable, but are they good enough for the amount of risk you may be at? If you're at in the last year, the S&P 500 was nearing 20%. Mm-hmm. So if you had a risk similar to the S&P, that if it would have went down, you would have been down as much, you should expect to be getting as much from that type of investment. So I had a lady come in this week. She had an account that had done very well, but it was actually at quite a bit of risk. So for the amount of risk she was at, it was very mediocre. And someday the markets won't go up. They will go down. That account may well be in jeopardy of taking a big loss, but yet didn't have as big a gains as it should have.
And I think that's the key, Victor, that a lot of people miss. When you look at your statement every month and it's up, people think, oh, hey, things are going in the right direction. And nobody, of course, likes it when their statement goes down. But where we have to be careful is, let's say you're in an account in a particular investment that in a downturn could go down 40%.
Right.
And in a good time, everything else that went down 40% in good years is making an average of 10 to 15. But you're only making 5 to 7.
Right.
And you're still at that same risk. Can be very problematic, but you won't know that until, I think, as Warren Buffett said, the tide goes out and people can see what's really going on.
Well, I think what he said was, you find out when the tide goes out, everyone's swimming naked.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right. So very important to make sure that your plan in good times, that you're benefiting from that, but also that you're not taking so much benefit, making so much money, having so much good risk in good times, that when a bad time comes, because it will, that when that occurs, that those bad times wipe you out. That's just as problematic, I think.
Yeah, the bottom line is, you just want to make sure that you're making as much as you should be based on what your investment is and what type it is and the amount of risk you're at. And, we meet with people all the time that are just really lagging behind as far as investment returns are concerned.
And they don't know it and don't think anything's wrong. Normally it's something else that prompts it, and they think, wait a minute. Everybody around me is saying I'm doing this or I've got this or whatever it may be, but people don't always feel like they're keeping up as much as they should be.
Or they have investments that may be performing okay as far as returns, but they don't have the tax efficiency that something else that would perform just as well would be spinning off less taxes.
That's exactly.
That's a diminisher to your rate of return.
Right. If, let's say, you're at a 30% tax rate and you've got an investment that's making 10, well, after tax at 30%, you're only netting 7.
Right.
Well, what if you could net 9 tax-free?
Absolutely.
Taxes, I think, at the end of the day, are a matter of fact. Investments are a matter of opinion.
Yeah.
Taxes are a matter of fact. So have a plan for when things are good, you're making money and you're keeping as much of it as you can be.
Yeah, because it doesn't matter how much you make, it's how much you get to keep.
That's all that matters.
Right.
Do you want to keep more of your hard-earned money in your pocket? Do you want to make sure that the next time something happens in the markets and the economy, that your plan is still on track to get through that and to survive and thrive on the other side? Make sure that you're in as good of a position as you can be. Go to ghwealthadvisors.com, ghwealthadvisors.com, or click on the link here in the description, and we'd be happy to chat with you, to look over your plan, to see what it is that you're doing. And I like to say, if everything is as good as it could be, give you that good housekeeping seal of approval and say, hey, everything's perfect, everything's rosy. Or if there's something that you're missing, maybe a tax strategy, maybe a risk you weren't aware of, hey, make sure that you're at least aware of what's going on.
Absolutely.
So take action and chat. There's no cost. There's no obligation. Go to ghwealthadvisors.com, and we hope you can have a wonderful, happy retirement, and we would love to be a part of helping your retirement be even better. Thanks for joining us on the Happy Retirement Show. We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Start building a more secure future for you and your family. Take the first step toward financial clarity by scheduling a no-cost, no-obligation consultation with Grayhurst Wealth Advisors. See if we're the right fit for you by scheduling a consultation. Call us today at 513-984-5999 or click the link in today's show description to get started.